Kylie Jenner exposed for faking billionaire status. Kylie is a modern-day icon with an incredible sense of the beauty consumer. Coty chairman Peter half gushed when announcing the acquisition of 51% of Kylie Jenner's business and cosmetics line in November of 2019. When Kylie sold her 51% stake in her cosmetics company for $600 million, many called it one of the greatest celebrity cash-outs of all time. But the deal's fine print reveals that she has been inflating the size and success of her business for several years, more than a decade into their fame. The Kardashian-Jenners will generally initiate eye rolls and moans among fatigued media watchers and consumers, but be that as it may, with regards to their riches, even celebrity pundits cannot deny that television's first family has charmed and entered the ranks of the rich and famous. The Kardashian-Jenner machine and the money it produces has been the subject of many articles, shows, videos, and even books. In any case, nobody thinks more about the subject of their fame than the family itself, which has gone through years of lobbying Forbes for higher spots on the Forbes yearly list of the richest and biggest incomes. So, when Kylie sold 51% of her beauty cosmetics for $600 million in a deal which valued Kylie's company at $1.2 billion, this was actually a watershed moment for the whole family. That was actually one of the greatest celebrity cash-outs of all time. The transaction seems to confirm what Forbes had declared in March of 2019, that Kylie Jenner was indeed a billionaire at least before the pandemic crisis hit everyone. Truth exposed about being a billionaire. In the deal's fine print, however, a less flattering truth developed. From filings required for publicly traded companies on the open market, Coty recently uncovered one of the family's tricks of the trade. Kylie's business is fundamentally smaller and less productive than it appeared. This is despite the family going through years of trying to influence the beautify industry and promoting favourable news about their products to media sources, including Forbes. Obviously, innocent exaggerations, exclusions, and outright manufactures are not out of the ordinary from the family that consummated, or at that point adapted, the idea of celebrated for being renowned label. But like Donald Trump's decades-long fixation on his total assets, the abnormal lengths to which the Jenners have been eager to go through, including welcoming Forbes into their houses and CPA's workplaces, and in any event generating government forms that were likely enhanced, uncovers exactly how urgent a portion of the ultra-rich are to look significantly more extravagant. To stay on brand, it needs to be bigger than it is. Stephanie Wissink. Impacts of COVID-19. Based on this information and the huge impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on beauty stocks and consumer spending, after Kylie Jenner pocketed an estimated sales tax of $340 million from the Coty sale, she is no longer a billionaire. Other Kardashian ventures. The Kardashian family gained fame from TV, but the reason for their riches consists of many small businesses, ranging from cosmetic makeup to games. The Kylie Jenners try to get fame by telling white lies everywhere. But when they are exposed, rather than being ashamed, she and her mother cover it up by saying it's a marketing promotion. Kylie continues to tell untruths about her launch product's popularity and sales. According to Kylie, her revenue and income for the year 2016 put her in the celebrity list of richest at number 2. That seems to be far-fetched. In the wake of talking with several investigators and industry specialists, who likewise found the Jenners' claims impossible, we can now conclude she was a good chance at gaining the number 59 spot on the celebrity list. Story appeared in WWD. Recently, a story showed up in WWD, the Bible of Passion, utilising the specific numbers the Jenners initially attempted to give Forbes. There had been seething theory about the size of her business, the story postulates. Well, here's the bad news for more established beauty players. Jenner surpassed the higher figure with ease. Kylie Cosmetics actually has done $420 million in retail sales in just 18 months, Kris Jenner revealed. It was the first run through Jenner has uncovered the size of business, the story gloated. The Jenners offered up their own numbers. 2017 incomes are up 7%, they stated, up to $330 million. No other influencer has ever gotten to the volume or had out-of-control fans and consistency that Kylie has had for the last more than 2 years, an official at Shopify, which sells Kylie's products online, stated to Forbes. In view of her fast achievement, guaranteed by industry sources, in addition to those 2016 expense forms, Kylie showed up on the front of Forbes magazine in July 2018, positioning herself as number 27 on the list of most extravagant independent ladies. At age 20, she was worth $900 million, we assessed, and would before long become the most wealthy of the youthful and independent. The following month, Kylie celebrated her 21st birthday at a West Hollywood dance club Delilah in a Barbie-themed victory party, complete with a pink ball pit, gigs by Travis Scott and Dave Chappelle, and barkeeps in dark t-shirts with Kylie's Forbes spread imprinted on them, and of course, with her Facebook close to the words America's Women Billionaires. By early the following year, she formally crossed the 10-digit threshold. Doubts about Kylie's being a billionaire. In November 2019, when $8.6 billion company Coty reported it was gobbling up 51% of Kylie Cosmetics for $600 million, it valued Kylie's business at about $1.2 billion. The arrangement gave the struggling 116-year-old Coty company a hit internet-based brand to help this company pivot to a more profitable model. It also gave Kylie a boost in her fame, in addition to a boatload of money. Call with stock experts. In a call with stock experts, Coty's CFO proclaimed the purchase would help make Coty an advanced developing and productive excellence player. However, the skeptics were quickly suspicious. It looked like Coty was paying an abundant excess for a VIP brand that could end up being only a passing fashion, one skeptic charged. Another critic asked how Coty could be certain Kylie will stay focused on advancing the business in the years to come. And there were also Kylie's financials. Reports showed incomes during the year just after the big sale to Coty. Income was $177 million, which was far lower than the distributed assessments at that point. Coty said that the deals were up 40% from 2018, which means the business just produced $125 million that year, not even close to the $360 million that Jenners had persuaded Coty to believe. Kylie's Healthy Skin line, which debuted in May 2019, did $100 million in income in its first month, and a large portion of Kylie's reps told this to the public. However, the filings show the line was really on target to complete the year with just $25 million in deals. Investigator. I think everyone was astounded, said an investigator into the Kylie-Coty deal. The negative that came out of the declaration was that the business was much smaller than everyone had anticipated. Question arises. So, since Kylie business was a lot smaller than advertised, the truth was that there was basically no chance the numbers the Jenners were hawking in prior years could have been genuine either. In the event that Kylie Cosmetics did $125 million in deals in 2018, how might it have done $307 million out in 2016, as the organisation's alleged assessment forms state, or $330 million in 2017? Explanation given. Kylie's response to all this criticism and inquiry into her company's finances was that the business discreetly fell by a large amount in a single year. Assuming this is the case, Coty settled up for a high development brand that is really much smaller than it was only a couple of years back. Coty would not address any inquiries regarding Kylie Cosmetics for this story. Data from web-based business firm Rakuten, which tracks a select number of recipients, suggests that there was a 62% decrease in Kylie's online deals somewhere in the range of 2016 and 2018. All things considered, basically every industry leader surveyed by Forbes figures the business couldn't have fell to such an extent so rapidly. It appears to be far-fetched that much income could have dissipated for the time being, says Evercore investigator Omar Saad. There doesn't appear to be any proof the business has created, includes makeup veteran Jeffrey Ten, who has driven organisations like Note Cosmetics, NYX and Calvin Klein Beauty. Assuming this is the case, for what reason would Coty get it? The consensus of many experts was that Kylie's business was never that large at any point, and that the Jenners have not been truthful about the numbers since 2016, including having their bookkeeper draft government forms with bogus numbers to help push Forbes' assessments of Kylie's income and total assets higher. While we can't demonstrate that those archives were phony, however it's probable, plainly Kylie's camp has been giving out questionable numbers. Taking all information into account and factoring in the pandemic. Forbes has recalculated Kylie's total assets and presumed that she is definitely not a very rich person. A progressively sensible bookkeeping of her own fortune puts it at just shy of $900 million. spite of the features encompassing the Coty bargain that appear to affirm her tycoon status. In excess of 33% of that is the evaluated $340 million in post-deal money she would have stashed from selling a dominant part of her organisation. The rest is comprised of overhauled income dependent on her business's smaller size and an increasingly conservative gauge of its profitability, in addition to the estimation of her outstanding portion of Kylie Cosmetics, which isn't just smaller than what Jenner claimed, but at the same time is worth less now than it was at the point at which the sale to Coty was declared in November 2019. And finally, the financial impacts of the coronavirus must also be taken into account. Coty's value has steadily fallen over 68% in 2020 since the arrangement was struck in 2016, while much better performing contenders like Ultra Beauty and Estee Lauder are only down single digits. Add that into the way that Wall Street will, in general, think Coty paid an excessive amount in any case, and it's absolutely impossible to peg Kylie's total assets over $1 billion, in spite of a huge money payout from the deal. Not surprisingly, we approached the Jenner clan for comment on the numbers. Be that as it may, squeezed for answers on the numerous errors, the ordinarily talkative family accomplished something abnormal. They quit responding to our inquiries. Manager's note, June 1st, 2020. Following distribution of this story, delegates of Kylie and Kris Jenner sent a letter to Forbes denying that Kylie has lied or that the expense forms that Jenner sent to them contained bogus numbers. The allegations that the Jenners, and additionally their bookkeepers, misrepresented assessment forms and afterward lied about their 2016 incomes throughout the previous 4 years are completely bogus, the letter pursues to some extent.